John, Chris, Koshers, hope you're all well.
Who? Chris?
Koshers.
That's
Not
a
had
new
that
one.
For a while. It's not a new one. We've had it before.
Five
Thought I'd dig
and
it
a bit
back in.
years in and he's gone with Koshers.
Koshers. We all right?
Yeah, very well. You?
What about when he came in this morning, saying he's admitted defeat with the diet and his overall...
I put one of his shorts
Demeanour.
T-shirts on Monday, and then I just look. You know when you feel it with a tighter T-shirt, and I was like, I actually thought in my head, he's right. You know, John was right.
Have you been in denial the last couple of weeks? Because he has been on to you, hasn't he, Chris?
I'm fat. If there's any nutritionists out there who want to get in touch,
Do you
Give me a
go?
bit of
Are you
advice.
very carby?
I am a very carby. I like my chips.
Yeah.
I love a chip.
But you order chips. Well, if you get chips on your dinner, you order extra chips
Yeah.
to mop up and that, don't you?
Double chips.
New trainers for you, John?
Yeah?
Oh. They are.
And they're not.
Because them.
They are not Converse.
Yeah.
What happened to them eye tops that you had, them Jordans?
Did I have some Jordans?
Big, beefy pair of Jordans. I've only seen them once.
I honestly don't know where they are.
I'm not so good. Skip Jordans.
40-year-old with a pair of Jordans. Man. What am I thinking?
Fuck me.
I can't remember what they look like.
I think I can. Belters, weren't they?
Yeah.
When did I wear them then?
Chunky number. We didn't see them again though.
That's a bit disrespectful.
What?
Calling them a chunky number.
Training on John. But it works both ways.
Can we get back to how fat you are? Like sat with fucking Matt Lucas.
What about a trip down south planned and we haven't got a car between us?
Oh, yeah, oh man.
You were fuming, by the way. So
I'm absolutely raging.
we've got a trip down south, like you said, with Cotswolds first for Phil
Watford
Brown.
tomorrow.
Watford, and then
South
back in
London.
February in South London on Friday. And all organised, all arranged, hotels, venues, not got a car between us.
So mine's been out of action for a while. hasn't it?
Yeah,
but-
I
so,
probably
yeah, but
should've-
you-
was that where a lot of your banger came from?
Yeah, that will
When Matty said his were in garage,
That was the worst.
He was saying, well, he knew we were going away. Why has he booked it in this week?
You've got
Yours is in garage.
yours is
Mine
too
doesn't fit
small.
everybody in.
Exactly. So you need to buy a new car. You need to get your car sorted. It's all right. Just
I've
say.
left it too long.
It's all right to say. Oh, what you doing with your car? Oh, I don't know. 2.5 months is it? 2.5 months.
6
See, I
weeks.
feel like I've set a precedent of just not doing anything about it, and now everybody else is doing the same.
So what is it? Tuesday we came, didn't we? So Monday my engine warning light came on. So obviously mine were literally out of action. But I tell you it's as though you just expected me to drive like. I were actually buzzing when my light came on just to fuck you all.
Bing!
Fuck you.
Yes!
Fuck you.
So fast forward 6 hours, John's boarding the train with 8 cans of Sammy Gal.
You were pissed.
Wakefield.
You were pissed last night.
But it's
I think it was nerves
it's been a long Easter holidays.
from Phil.
You know, wait,
Phil
kids,
Brown.
long Easter holidays. Don't start that shit again, you fucking pathetic piece of shit.
Oh,
Pathetic piece of
pathetic
shit.
piece of shit.
Yeah, probably a bit harsh. But yeah, stop telling fibs.
No, I'm just surmising. I mean, you can...
Right, I was stressed yesterday. I was stressed, so I
Because
thought,
we had
fuck
Phil
it.
Brown today.
No.
I think that was
the previous previous week
Yeah.
I've been quite stressed. So I thought, fuck it, I'm getting 8 cans for a train.
and then reloaded at Paddington. 4 cans of Sammy Gal.
Oh my
Guess what
god.
he was quoted?
£16 odd for 4 cans of
4
salmon.
cans?
Yeah.
And he let everybody in the train station know about it.
Oh, I was
And
pissed.
How loud he was.
At this point, was he 8 cans
8 cans deep. This is a reload.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Look, we got some more at Paddington.
The
didn't
fella behind the counter was rich.
I went, I beg your
I had
pardon.
no idea.
I beg your pardon. He went, £16 odd. I went, for 4 cans of San Miguel. £16.50 for 4 cans of San Miguel.
You put him back.
Fucking right, I did. £16.50 for 4 cans. Fucking ought to warn a blue mass. And there were a bloke in queue. I went, have you fucking heard that? £16.50 this cunt wants off me.
He had no time for you either, did he?
Oh, like, just finished work.
You were that guy. Just keep out of me way.
Like,
Yeah, one of them. Oh yeah, mate. Yeah.
it was like just after like six,
Cost
seven,
of living
half
crisis.
six,
What are you gonna do?
like half 6.
Excuse me. Can I just come past on? I want to get my quads on.
It's finished. Obviously finished work. £16.50. He's trying to charge me. So no.
Jason Lee, everybody seemed to enjoy it. A lot of people said they didn't realise how much of a hard man he was in terms of.
Well, I didn't.
I didn't
Yeah.
either, to be honest.
Did you?
No. But I imagine people that played with him might, from what he spoke about, might say different. He used to like
Big
it.
old piece of kit and all,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I wouldn't like mess with him.
No.
Martial arts shit, do you reckon?
Yeah.
If
Like a
if Jason says it's Tuesday, it's Tuesday. But again, Evans,
Yeah.
just Evans, innit?
And the fantasy football stuff and how it affected him. It were interesting. Like he said, it completely different TV to then and now. You know, there's probably 7, 8, 9 million people watching it every night. And it's on.
Can we get back to arriving at the hotel last night? Nah, that's
No, it's completely different to have like a slip of the bottom.
not the lean.
Slip out, but not a lean.
Not the lean.
Not a
man.
lean and a thrust. I'm pretty sure it went with a grunt.
You're so happy with your work as well. The smile.
Fuck you, lads.
So there was a fella having a pint watching the. It's a smeller as well. A fella having a pint at the bar watching the Chelsea game.
Somebody banging, complaining.
Watching the City game. And as soon as he found out he's a Chelsea fan, my best mate's just been sacked from your club.
Best mate.
I was like, even if he'd said me mate's been sacked, I'd have gone, come on, John.
Yeah. You spoke to
One of my
yeah?
best mates.
I'm
you
getting,
spoke
I'm
to
getting a bit of time to cool off.
Well, you best mates and all. You know what's.
I know. I know how it works. I know how the animal.
Nobody better, do you?
I know how the animal works.
Yeah.
Better to leave him a little cooling off period
Yeah.
and then get in touch.
How do you
the
know?
piss
How
out
do you
of
know
him.
that he needs some time?
Because I know him that well.
Is it not because you rang him and he didn't answer?
Yeah, but his voicemail said I need a bit of time. Yeah, I'll give you a ring soon, Potts.
Who we got this week?
In fact, you'll reach out to me, Graham, when you need me. You'll reach out
I'm
to me.
always here.
Oh, is
Doors
it
always
for you?
open.
I'm always sitting in this phone, Graham.
Roderick Thornley.
Oh no, yes, our first masseuse.
Yeah.
Ah, it is.
Yeah.
We had
It's
his
not
brother
the
on.
first
We've had
masseuse.
Ben on. Ben was a good episode, by
Ben
the way.
Farmley's brother.
Former Manchester United and England masseuse.
Some unbelievable. This is like we always like to chuck a curveball in, don't we? Not necessarily from the playing world of football or management, and we're not disappointed. Some of the stories, obviously, Wayne Rooney's best mate, England, Man United, glory days.
Big Trump.
Donald
Speaking of farts.
Donald Trump's golf partner. There's some good
lad.
stuff.
We
Yeah.
did it in the Elk of Ale. So thanks to Callum
Oh,
for
yeah.
letting us in.
Yeah,
Apparently it's a good Super Sunday.
that's the place to be.
Very good.
So get your sends in the Elk of Ale. Great memory, by the way.
I know.
To actually remember it and remember his name and that's fair play.
Thanks, John.
I can't remember where it were.
Don't know what day it is.
Oh, it's someone speaking to Kevin.
The only thing you can remember is how much 4 cans of San Miguel cost. at
I
Paddington.
shall never forget that. I shall never forget that. I wish I'd have just
He
dropped
came
him.
back. He came back to the room this morning. He was like, "I forgot I was speaking to that fucker from Whitley Bay last night." I was like, "What do you mean?" He went, there was a lad having breakfast, and apparently I was speaking to him last night." That fucker.
Telling him how much San Miguel is at Paddington.
Just Graham Potter on speed dial. Like, he'll pick up in a minute. Just watch.
Oh, it's too late now. Must have been about half
Must
nine.
be asleep.
Must have been about 9:30,
Oh,
Graham.
well, he's in bed now. Well, shall we get him in then?
Yes.
Yes.
Another Under the Cosh first. Our first sibling crossover. First time we've had siblings on.
Oh, it is, huh?
Brothers. Yeah. So,
I think did I alert you to that fact? Did I alert you to that fact?
I think it was me.
To be
always been in
fair,
the facts.
could be twin brothers as well, by the
know.
way. Would you say there's a
so
bit of
had
luck in
your
you
Ben
or
on?
your kid?
Me, 100%.
The lads are always saying that the best place to be when you're around the club is in the masseuse room. Yeah.
Physio room or around the masseurs. It's like the hub in
it's
it.
it's either the medical room or the kit room. That's where generally I
Let the
belong,
steam
yeah.
off.
Yeah, yeah.
So why did you get into that then?
Lucky. Honestly, so lucky. So I was a lifeguard in local leisure centres in Salford, and at the time, so obviously you've mentioned my brother. He was part of that class of '92. Because of that, by hook or by crook, Gary Neville ended up dating my sister and ended up eventually getting engaged to my sister. And when Carrington opened in 2000, they needed a lifeguard to look after the pool on a day-to-day
What, in case
basis.
the lads drown?
Exactly. Hey, nearly happened.
Did you ever go in?
It nearly happened. There's a couple that I'll name names. I don't care. John O'Shea wasn't the greatest of swimmers, and neither was Danny Welbeck. Yeah. But no, that I give up.
Pulling him out with that, stick with hoop on. Get him well next time. I'll give him a minute here.
Don't make it ring in.
So yeah, I give up like a 40-hour a week job, 38-hour week to go in there 2 hours a day, on the gamble that something might come of it. And it didn't take long. Like within a month, 5-6 weeks, they sent me on a course down to Cardiff to do a massage diploma.
Did you go the full shebang, yellow t-shirt, lifeguard on the back, or?
No, I think they just give us my own kit that had my own name on at the time. So yeah, I didn't have to do that.
Well, did you let them chew chewing gum in there or?
No heavy petting. Imagine if I said there was though. Oh my God. Yeah, look into that one.
And I'm assuming you're a big United fan.
Yeah, huge United fan. Salford Red. There weren't many from Salford that weren't Reds, you know.
Yeah.
I grew up with amongst a load of United fans, like one City fan amongst us all.
And how old are you when you get the call to be the lifeguard?
Ooh, 2000, I've been 23.
Right.
23, yeah.
23-year-old being asked to go down to Carrington. Coming off the back of the treble winning season.
Yeah.
All the
It was actually dead funny because the first day I've gone in there, they've given the manager of the centre, the manager of Carrington, it was like nothing to do with the football side. It was his job to make sure the facilities were kept. So he's taking me round and, this is that, there's the sports hall, there's that. And every time we go past a player, it's like, Rod, how are you, mate? Rod, how are you? And every single player knew me because I'd been at Christmas parties and obviously because of my brother and that.
Yeah.
He's like, everyone, what's going on here? Like, so Alex then comes and so Alex having a chat with me and the guy couldn't believe what's going on. Like, he knew everyone. Like, it was funny.
I actually can't believe that there's a role. They needed a lifeguard.
And I'll tell you what they did was the plan was for the physios to get qualified as lifeguards, but because they actually weren't qualified as lifeguards yet, they needed a stopgap, and that was me. And then we all had to continue over the next X amount of years. They're probably still doing it now. Stay as qualified lifeguards.
Because when you got it though, did you think my foot's in the door here? I can do something.
That was my head. That was the way I was thinking. Like if I just get my foot in the door, like I've quit a full-time job to do. It was like 10 hours a week on a crap pay, just
hoping that
something would come of it. Yeah.
And you knew the players as well, so you're thinking the players are going to bat for you no matter what.
Well,
if they need a job or.
Well, that's what basically they turned around to me after a month and said, "Listen, we see you get on with the players well, and we see you like them. So, yeah, crack on. Let's get you qualified."
But obviously that developed into what, a 19-year
19 year,
at Man United, 15 years with England.
9 years, 15 years with England. Yeah, lucky, very lucky. I class myself as a very lucky person. Yeah, in that respect.
Was there anybody who just couldn't stop running next at pool? You know when you're blowing your whistle.
Do you honestly believe I had a whistle by the pool? Do I look that much of a bellend to fucking have a whistle by the pool at Man United?
Juan Sebastian, stop fucking running! I told you this on Tuesday. You're going to slip and cause yourself an injury.
Yap stands in with manager, running bomb again. Fucking hell.
Oh, man.
But you met Sir Alex before?
Yeah, a few times actually over the years.
Yeah.
But the first time was he turned up at my house. I would come home from school one Friday afternoon, and he's on my sofa with Brian Kidd, trying to entice my brother to leave City to come to United. Yeah,
It's like him again, and just going out of his way
Yeah.
to visit a. Well, what do you say? 13.
he'd have been 16, probably 15, 16. Yeah, so just before they signed him
Go to the
schoolboy
house,
forms.
like.
Yeah, unbelievable. But that's what he was like. So Alex, he was attention to detail. He was brilliant.
Did you have to toe the line with Ferguson? Or did you ever get a bollocking for
I got
whatever?
a few bollockins. Yeah.
I think I knew that already.
I don't really toe the line that much. That's my problem. And yeah, I got a few. I mean, he'd bollock you for not having a shave. Let's not lie. Like if it's the wrong day, he'd come in and walk past you and go, "Fucking shave that beard. It looks terrible," or something like that. You know, that's what he was like. But that's him. I got a couple of good bollockins. Yeah.
Can you tell us the biggest bollocking you got and why off Ferguson?
Yeah. I don't mind telling you this one. It's we was on pre-season tour in New York. We played in Chicago on the Saturday, and we flew from Chicago to New York Saturday evening after the game. Honestly, the hottest game I ever was involved in Chicago. The lads were just head to toe sweat, couldn't get off the pitch quick enough. We go to New York and literally get off the plane in New York. So Alex has got his own apartment. So he says to the team, he says to Mick Phelan, "Tell the lads, see you on the bus Monday morning." So the lads are gone, fucking hell, Saturday night and Sunday in New York, let's go. So Saturday night, by the time we got to the hotel after playing, blah, 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 it was a bit too late. So we made a night of it in the hotel. Then Sunday, played golf. And I was given the job not given the job, but I had enough contacts around the world, and especially New York, to organise like some sort of night out for us. And originally it was like me, Wayne, Michael Carrick, and we had the England physio at the time was working with me, a guy called Dave Hancock. He was working for New York Knicks as their like chief head of performance, something like that. So I spoke to Dave and said, "Listen, where can we go today? Where can we go tonight?" So we organised like a rooftop bar for the afternoon and then a club after that. So we had all this sorted. But then once like 2 or 3 lads got on, "Oh, are we going there? Yeah. Oh, we'll come. And then eventually it's like 15, 16 lads going, plus likes of Andy Cole, Brian Robson, who the legends who were on the tour with us, like, we're coming as well. Like, so I've had to buy hire a minibus, right? I've had to hire this minibus. The lads have got to pay for it, like, but I've hired this minibus, and we've sorted this whole day and night out, and it was brilliant. Lavo is like this bar in Manhattan that you sat down having a meal, and all of a sudden it just erupts into a cabaret. Like, and it's just amazing, like brilliant fun. So we're in there and we're talking virtually all the squads in there, right? Myself, my mate from New York Knicks, and we then disappear onto a nightclub, go home. But I think a couple of lads had nicked a couple of birds and they took them from the Lavo into the bus onto New York Knicks. Onto the nightclub we'd gone to. So the next day, on the Monday night's edition of the New York Times, there was pictures and there was like Man United were out partying in Manhattan last night. Blah blah. There was like a picture of Giggsy dancing on a table with the bird, and then there was something in the thing that said, "Oh, and the players moved then onto a nightclub with a couple of girls that they took on the team bus." But they used that. They could took these couple of girls on the team bus. So Sir Alex has read this on the Monday.
Would Sir Alex be all right with you having the Sunday out?
Yeah.
That bit's
absolutely
all
no
right.
problem at all. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sir Alex was absolutely fair when it comes to like team bonding and lads having a nice time. But he saw a couple of girls on the team bus and lost it. Like, what a Spanish Inquisition. I don't know how. I do know how, but my name got thrown into the equation. They were my friends, these girls. I got thrown on the bus basically. So
Fuck it, we'll blame him again.
Yeah, you've just got to take that on the chin. Know that it's coming.
Take one on the chin.
Come on,
So
Here we go again. What have I done now?
so training happened the Tuesday morning training happened, and like I got a heads up from someone. Gaffer's good in for you, so just stay out of his way for today. He's fuming. So I stay out of his way. go for lunch, walk in, I'm about 5 minutes late for lunch. Like back in the days, you didn't have to bang on time. Like as long as you went for lunch, you were fine. And all the seats are taken apart from one table's completely empty. And I thought, well, I've got to get my food and sit at that table. And I looked around the room. Who's the only person not in the room? Sir Alex. Sure enough, a minute later, he walks in. The only place he can sit in the whole room is next to me. He sits next to me. He says, "You were out with the fucking players last night, weren't you, son?" I was like, "No, boss, I was out with my mate." And they happened to be in the same place. And he went, "Yeah, you shouldn't go out with the fucking players." And then his voice started getting louder and louder and louder until he's just absolutely snapped at me. And the whole room's just looking around and going like that. And it felt so horrible. And he lost it with me. You're not a fucking player. You shouldn't be out with the fucking players, blah, blah. And he said, "Don't do it again." He said, and it wasn't "don't do it again." It was a bit more strong than that. But all right, okay, I took it on the chin and I walked out, sulked off and just got on my job for the rest of the day. And then I was just like, oh God, it was a horrible feeling. It was a horrible, horrible feeling being absolute. It was a hairdryer, but not as loud as you'd expect, but it was just horrible because he was so close to me.
With an audience as well.
With an audience, everyone.
Imagine that, he just sat next to you and he just give you your fucking, he's like, "So now just pass the salt and pepper."
Yeah.
Do you want that bread roll?
Won't do it again, boss. Pass us that butter, please.
When was this?
2010, I think it was. Yeah,
Right.
2010.
So did you think you'd maybe, because obviously you 10 years you've been at the club at that point, and going Christmas dues and nights out and stuff. And did you think, I'll burn bridges here?
Yeah.
There may be nights out over basically.
Yeah, I was panicking over it. I was massively panicking over it. But the next morning, I've got up, gone down for breakfast. Sure enough, as soon as those elevator doors open, the first person I see, Sir Alex, right in front of me. I shit myself. And what does he do? "Morning, Roddy Doddy." First words out of his mouth. Just
Did he have a pet name for you?
nips it in the bud like that. Just
Yeah.
nips it in the bud. And that's what he was like. He was just such a good man manager, yeah. And I just went, oh, thank for that.
Yeah.
Thankful. He's moved on, he's gone, it's done with. And that's what he was like. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
I've got to say, we've had lifeguard, obviously the masseur,
Yeah.
but I think you really came to your own when you were pantomime director.
We've heard a lot about the Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah.
We have had loads of lads on speaking about the fun and games and the pantomime, Christmas pantomime.
Well, I'll tell you what happened was when my first Christmas was 2000, right? And we just did a day in the life of Carrington and basically dressed first year apprentices up as, players, as staff that everyone would recognise. And to have them recognise that the players would have the match shirts on, so you knew the name. And then you'd do something quirky with them, and then the staff would have the actual staff with the kit, the initials of the kit on, and we just did some sort of story. We had a girl that works in the office, Sharon, and she was always quite glammed up, Sharon, short skirts and all that sort of stuff. And she was a bit older than me, and we used to always have somehow put her in as the weather girl. So Sharon, we get a kid dressed up bra, fake boobs, short skirts, doing the weather. But always at the end would bend over and you just see balls hanging out the bottom of her finger. But it would just be so funny. But every year we'd put Sharon in it, and I think Sharon wasn't happy if she wasn't in it. She loved it, Sharon.
Did the lads used to hate that, shit themselves?
The young lads,
who were doing
shitting
that.
themselves, for weeks building up to it. I'm pretty sure it affected their Saturday morning of performances, when they're playing on the pitch for the 16s and 18s. But yeah, they used to shit themselves. Really, were scared.
It's your role as well that you get.
Yeah,
innit? If you've got a really,
if you've got a big player and you could piss him off, really offend him.
Because we've heard about the horse's head.
Yeah, rude.
Is that your doing?
Everything's my doing. I'm not gonna lie. Everything was my doing. Everything. The kids never come up with any ideas. It was all me. I would literally spend 6 weeks writing these scripts out for and completely changing storylines of different famous, Christmas stories. And we did things we did a day in the life. We did a news at 10, and we just need a load of news different news articles and things like that. We did Snow White. We did. God, I'm trying to think what we did. There's loads of stuff, but I had to just adapt things all the time. And even if I would print off scripts off the internet and then change the wording and everything. And we did. We did 12 Days of Christmas, on the first day of Christmas. We did one of them one year, and then we did something completely different with that.
What, and each one was a different player?
Yeah, different player or something different. Like, I just reworded it all. I can't remember exactly what I did for that now.
When it came to the casting,
Yeah.
so like the one, the biggest that's closest to the bone. Are you giving that role to the loudest, brashiest
Jack the
young
lad.
lad?
Yeah.
You know what? It's crazy that you'd have thought so, but the best ones who performed were the little sheep, the little ones that were like little quiet kids. But when you actually put them in front of everyone, they were brilliant. I'd be going out like the day before the panto was on, dotting myself around all the fancy dress shops, just hiring gear out left, right, and centre. And I used to have to go to Sir Alex and go, boss, come on, it's costing me like 200 quid this month, this year. Like, you have to give me back. Like, it's like, yeah, okay. And he'd always give me it, like, because Sir Alex loved it. It was good entertainment, though. It was good for morale.
Can you remember the Van Nistelrooy one? Did you get it in the neck? Because obviously it's your doing.
He wasn't too bad. The only one that really gave it me net was Nani. Nani wasn't happy with his one that time.
What was that?
So I had Ronaldo, a kid dressed up as Ronaldo. He came out, and you can imagine the canteen's like about 30 yards wide, big long canteen, but 30 yards wide, and everything went on in the middle of the canteen. So there's a door that side and a door that side, and Ronaldo come out and he had like a rope that I got from the pool side, like, we throw the rope in to get him in. So I got a rope, but like he's going, hey boy, and he's pulling this rope, right? And
So this is the kids as Ronaldo.
it's the kids.
It's not Ronaldo.
No, it's not
the
Ronaldo. The kids are Ronaldo. I put Ronaldo and Nani are in the room.
Right.
They're watching this happen. So, and he's pulling it and he's pulling it. It's tight. The thing's tight. And he gets to the door on the other side and he yanks one last time. And then Nani pops through the other side of the door with it round his neck as his dog collar. Right. So it's Nani's his little dog. Like, brilliant. And then we sold Ronaldo that summer. So the year after, I did someone else, another kid, come out dressed as Nani with a Nani shirt on, but he had a poster of Ronaldo. And have you seen my owner or something like that? Walking around all upset because he'd lost him for a year. So he wasn't happy. He was never happy with that.
Were there any where you thought as you're making them up, you thought, oh, this could be a little bit too far, this?
Yeah.
Did you have a proofreader? Like, did anybody
Yes.
have a look over it first? Just to
Brian
say,
McClare.
right?
Chucky was still working at the club back then. And Chucky was brilliant, great entertainment. The driest man I've ever met in football. Honestly, he was so dry. But I would just run things by him. I think at the time he was head of the academy. And I would just go, Chucky, what do you think of this? And he'd go, yeah, but and it didn't matter how ruthless it was. He'd be like, yeah, it'd be fine.
So did he ever say, oh no,
No, never.
cut that one?
No.
So basically,
No, he just read it.
basically he just went, yeah, that's fine.
Love it.
No,
That'll
anything
work a
worked.
treat.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about the kid that, like we said, that one kid who has to do the one closest to the bone. Just pulling the horse's head down, thinking,
Yeah. Well, the thing is for the kid, he had the head on.
Yeah.
So Rude never actually saw who that kid was.
So would he always just look at you rather than the kid?
All he saw was the shirt and the head, and like,
Yeah.
that's obviously me with the horse's head. Like, but he didn't know who played him. I think Rude came in afterwards asking who the fuck played me. Like, but the players always thought it was the lad's idea, but it was all me. It was all me. So I just let them take the shit at times. Like,
Were you
and
just
I
stood off backstage with a clipboard, like, right?
Exactly what I was doing, yeah. So, just explain the two doors, right? I was at one door. By the way, these kids are mic'd up as well. We do this properly, like, not like this, like, but there was at least one mic between them. And I would go, right, you're on now, go on now.
Costume.
Horse's head ready to go in 3, 2, 1.
But you had to tell them all the time to speak up loud, and you had to always tell them, let the laughter stop. Because they'd always go out and no matter what, you'd get laughs. No matter what. There really wasn't any times where you come out and there wouldn't be a laugh, right? But lads would try and start talking while people are still laughing, so they weren't getting the jokes that were maybe coming of it. But yeah, it was good. It was just good fun. It was just different. Like,
I just love how serious it all
Yeah.
was. How serious
Just
everybody
to check
took it.
down.
Proper production, innit?
Yeah.
Let the laugh
Just
stop.
lifting the skirt up and just pulling the balls down a bit more.
checking in with Paul McGuinness to make sure they can be there that time. Yeah, fuck training, fuck the match they've got the weekend. They have to be with me by this time on that day. Like,
By the way, on about trusting and stuff, you know what kind of stuff that gets said in these kind of situations. If you go to the treatment room, players talk about what they've been doing the weekend and stuff. If you've got to be, because you're on the player's side, aren't you?
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, if you've got to be,
you have to be diplomatic all the time. Yeah, I honestly, right? it's just going to sound weird, this, but like when I did the job in the club, like obviously it's quite strenuous physically, especially when you're doing it hours on end, but it's fucking mentally draining because you're thinking about what you're saying to, because when you get one-on-one with a player and you're talking about, whether they're talking about the family life, whether they're talking about their own football, you got to be careful to not say the wrong thing, but you've also got to get the right message across without pissing them off, but without being a yes man as well. Because I've got a big bugbear for yes men in football, and I just couldn't handle people going, oh yeah, you're right, because it's too many of that going on. And I was always one that would speak my mind and always speak my mind properly as well, yeah. And there was known for it. The players, like you speak to the likes of, I don't know, Marcus Rashford today, he'll tell you now, Rod was always totally honest with me. When I was poor, Rod would tell me I was poor. And that's the way I am. I always have been that. But I wouldn't go to a player and go, oh, you were shit today, mate. That's just stupid.
Did you find that physio, because obviously, I don't know how it worked at United, did you have to report to the physio? Was he kind of your boss within the boss?
Yeah.
Physios used to hate the masseurs getting so close to the players. I don't know why, but they used to have it was a bugbear that players would go and speak to the masseurs.
To be fair, you got too close to a few masseurs. That's
familiar.
Why. I'm sure Rod didn't do what you fucking used to get
With a
done.
female, would it? Yeah. I do for the right price.
Yeah, I think that might have been the problem. You got fucking too
I
close to
wasn't
him.
getting at that, but
No, you're right. You're right. There is a lot of, I'll say there's a lot of jealousy in football. The politics that goes on behind the scenes is ridiculous, and there is a lot of jealousy. And if you are seen as quite popular, there's obviously going to be people behind your backs going, fucking hell, who does this guy think he fucking is?
yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. I'm not like that. I'm not that way inclined. Like I said, I don't mind. But some people are like that.
How did you ever get it in England set up?
Lucky as fuck again. Bex rang me. I was on holiday at the time. I was with my girlfriend and Gary Neville was with my sister. We were out in Malta on holiday and Bex rang Gary Neville and just said, is Rod with you? And he went, yeah. Put him on the phone. And this was like the summer of 2001, like the June. And he said, listen, there's a chance for the England masseur. Would you fancy it? I was like, fucking dead right, yeah. Let's do it. He's like, right, okay, I'll have a word with Sven, see what he says. And
Obviously Beckham's captain at the time.
Beckham's captain at the time. And at the time, there was Gary Lewin from Arsenal, who was the Arsenal physio. There was 2 Arsenal doctors. And there was a physio from, a masseur from Swindon and a physio from Sheffield. So they had no one really that northern. So they said it would be diplomatically right to get me in there as well. So that's how I got in there, yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I fucking loved it. Honestly, brilliant.
Was it just like a holiday?
No, it's the hardest work I do would be with England, but it was just brilliant. It's like you go away United, it's red carpet treatment. You go away with England, it's a different level to red carpet treatment. Honestly, they made you feel special. They treated the staff as they treat the players, and everyone got looked after the same way, and it was brilliant. Honestly,
I was thinking about Sven. Honestly, if anyone's drowning, we're safe as houses here. You know what I mean? David Seaman's drowning. He's fucking getting pulled out. Don't you worry about it. If he gets his hair caught, if he gets his ponytail caught in fucking fan system in pool, Rod's getting him out. Give him the job, fuck it.
Did he take to you, Sven? Because he's a bit of a shagger, isn't he?
I can't see. Can I go to the toilet? I need a toilet break. Oh, fuck off. I need a toilet. I'm going to have to go to the toilet. I am going to have to have a piss. Just stop for a second. You can't fucking ask me that. Oh, God.
So what is colourful a character as what he perceives, Sven?
I'm not answering that either. It's just the same fucking question.
I'm on about in and around the dressing room, not in a nightclub.
You know, he was just a calm guy. Honestly, so placid, so relaxed, so calm. He was just... He was tactical as well. He was very tactical, but he never raised his voice, never got angry. Just everything he ever did was calm.
Do you know at that time there was a lot, they all speak about it afterwards, about the clicks and that. Could you see that?
When I first went into the England setup in 2001, there was definitely a click. And it was probably because of the Man United lot. Because the likes of Gary Neville would let's say dinner with England was 1 o'clock. They train in the morning, they got lunch at 1 o'clock, yeah? Gary Neville would grab like Scholesy, Becks, fucking Phil, Yorkie, Coley, Teddy, and take them at 10 to 1, quarter to 1, and they'd all eat quickly. And then by the time everyone else was sort of coming in, they'd just fuck off. Like, that's that.
It's a bit childish,
Man
isn't it?
made then, eh?
Yeah, so it was, but then it very, very. I tell you what changed it all. Rooney. When Rooney come in, and he wouldn't have known he was doing this, because he was so like in your face and chatty with everyone, and it didn't care who he was sat with. He would just talk crap with whoever he was sat around. It merged everyone together constantly, like, and he did brilliant at it. And he probably didn't know he was doing it at the time, but he stopped that sort of clicky thing. And it wasn't that clicky in the end.
What was your favourite tournament?
2002 was amazing experience, because it was obviously my first experience of something like that, and it was amazing. So I would say 2002. It was right at the height of Beckhamania, and you literally everywhere the England team bus went, there would be 5-6 deep on the roads. Going to the airport to travel to another game or going to training, there would just be 5-6 deep. It was like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was amazing.
Was he a captain?
He was captain, yeah.
No, was he a captain?
Was he a captain? He was. When he needed to speak up, he definitely was. I'm not saying Gary Neville pulled his strings, but Gary was very, very, very close to him, and they consulted each other a lot over everything. But yeah, Beck's a good
it always
captain.
annoys me that it's almost like, especially when it comes to a big tournament, it's just the biggest name at every nation's the captain. Whether they seem like a captain character.
Yeah, he was a good captain. He was a good captain. He was there for the team and looked after the team. And for me, that's what a good captain is. Like somebody.
It always seems like it's more of a commercial decision than a.
Probably was. But that's not his
there's
choice.
There's another captain behind the scene.
But that's not his choice. No. Yeah, it might have been a commercial decision. Someone might have been in Sven's ear and said, make David Beckham your captain. Yeah. You never know. You never know what goes on behind the scenes. But if they did, it was the right fucking decision, because it commercially made sense. And he was a good captain.
Going back to that 2016, there must have been some furious players in the dressing room about Ronaldo, and he's going up to ref and giving it the wink and all that.
You know what? I remember I was upset after that game, like proper. I was annoyed with Wayne because I knew he'd done it, and I knew he'd got sent off, and it was stupid. It was petulant, and it pissed me off. And we were close then at the time, and I couldn't look at him. But I just remember the whole dressing room being quiet. It was horrible getting knocked out of World Cups. Horrible in that dressing room.
Were they close at United? Would you say they were good mates?
Yeah. Everyone at United was good mates. I never really come across many fractions at United that were like the players hated each other. You always hear about the Teddy Sheringham and Roy Keane one, but that happened just before my time. And I could never really see it in the dressing room. Never. You wouldn't think it had happened.
So I thought it would have created a lot of tension, because it's different. People said, things off the field and on the field, but it's a World Cup in it. You're going out of the World Cup, and Neville comes over, he gives him a shove out at way.
Yeah, no.
It's quite a bit of time elapsed though, from getting knocked out to probably getting back.
2 months.
Yeah. So there's
a month and a bit. Yeah.
And they had spoken. That greasy twat. Wait till we get back. Wait till we get back.
There probably was a bit of that in Wayne at the time, but they spoke and they moved on very quickly. It's football. It happens.
Yeah. Was there any that were hard work? Any of the England players? Something on about, you mentioned being a hub.
Hang on, hard work in response to like my job.
Yeah,
what
just a bit
I did.
arrogant, just a bit like treated you disrespectfully.
I mean, David James at times could be hard work. I remember one time because I was always in charge of like sort of sorting entertainment out, and we had this thing going at United at the time where we'd do it was when, what's it called, with the boxes, and you had the numbers on the boxes, the TV show. Deal or No Deal, yeah. So we were doing that at United for banter, like just Deal or No Deal under cup. So you get so I thought, well, you know what, we'll do this with England. After the meal one day, John Terry said, you know what, yeah, I'll put the money in, right? We'll pick random player out of the hat, and we'll do Deal or No Deal, 20 cups, right? You got a prize under each cup. He picks one, and then you keep going Deal or No Deal until he comes to agreement. And John Terry said, I'll pay whatever they win. So David James got picked out of the hat, didn't he? So I knew straight away I was on tour. So I've got the whole England team in front of me. I've got all these cups lined up. He's picked his cup.
You want someone you can bounce off.
Right, let's eliminate the first three. Bang, bang, bang. deal or no deal. He just went deal straight away and just killed the whole game. Fucking ruined the whole fucking game. I was devastated.
25 quid deal. I want to get back to my bed.
Yeah, killed it.
Are you hamming it up as well?
There's like loads of people like, this would be great, this would be fucking
Yeah.
brilliant, and they just fucking killed it like that. I was like, oh my God, cheers, J-Mo, you twat. Like.
What's it going to be? Deal. Deal, just give us the tenner.
Poor that Dave, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he could have walked away with like fucking 6 or 7 grand, like, you know what I mean? But no, 25 quid or something, whatever it was. Deal, yeah. Cheers, you twat.
Who were your favourite player at United and England?
I mean, listen, I'm always going to be a Wayne Rooney fan because close mate of mine, and I firmly believe that 2003, when he burst on the scene, till about 2008, he was probably the only player that would give Messi, Ronaldo a run for their money for Ballon d'Ors. You know, I thought he was fucking top draw when he first burst on the scene. When he was raw, when he didn't give a fuck, when he was getting yellow cards every week, that was one of the best players in the world. But United, Scholesy, for me, is probably Man United's greatest ever player. Ronaldo, amazing impact on a club over a short space of time and would win games on his own for you. And Giggsy for longevity as well. Top players. So those are my top 4, really.
Were you thinking off the pitch?
Yeah, no,
We're not bothered about the technical.
Oh, you're
ability.
not about if you can
All right,
fucking
okay.
do a couple of step-offers and all that.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Anderson was a funny kid.
Yeah.
Anderson was a funny kid. The fact that he couldn't speak English properly was brilliant. Like he'd make words up in interviews and we'd just take the piss out of him for it. So I think who else? There were so many good lads, like, but off the pitch. It's not an easy question, that, because there wasn't any knobheads really. That's the good thing about in my day. I mentioned J-Mo had his moments, like, but there wasn't really I couldn't point a single knobhead out, and everyone had their own good points across the board. Like,
I think that was because of the manager. He wouldn't let people be knobheads.
I think so. I think if you sort of like crossed the wrong people in that dressing room, you were gone very quickly. I mean, look at Yap Stam. It's a big example of it. Like, he said some bad things about the Nevils, and then bang, he's gone out of the club, and he was a great lad. I remember him fucking picking me up at a house party once and fucking suplexing me onto a sofa. I was like, what are you doing? Middle of a fucking house party.
Come on, yeah.
Fucking just pick me up and just fucking suplex me.
What did you do?
Nothing, just walked past him. It's at Gary Neville's house. Like, it was a big house party at Gary Neville's house. He just picked me up and just fucking suplexed me onto the sofa. What the fuck, Yap?
Did they all call you Roddy Doddy? Or was that
No,
just the
no
boss?
fucker call me Roddy Doddy, just the gaffer. Like, when he was in a good mood.
What about England? Did you have to toe the line there?
I could never really get in trouble with England because you had to work so hard all the time. Like, I was on best behaviour with England all the time. So, you know, there was never... We had a few drinks here and there. I got... I did get wheelchaired off a plane once. That was...
There's always one. No. That one time. Well, that one time.
No, when we drew out in... there's a good story, this, actually. We drew out in Turkey against Turkey to qualify for Euro 2004. 0-0. The one where Alpay and Beckham had the little run in at half-time where he chased him off the pitch and it went off in the tunnel.
Did it go off in the tunnel?
Oh, it went off in the tunnel. Well, yeah, it went off in the tunnel. And Emil Heskey was right in the middle of it all, and their security was splitting it all up, and the whole team were at the front having a fucking go at them, and they were like face to face, but security in the middle. And Alpay, remember Alpay? He was right at the front of them, fucking English fucking cunts like that. And then all of a sudden, you just see this fucking white fist come over the top of nowhere. Bang! Clocks Alpine, knocks him to the ground.
Phil Neville.
Wazza. Phil Neville. Phil Neville.
Phil rearranging his pants in the dressing room. I'm not getting involved in all that.
So Rooney's cleaned him out?
Waz has cleaned Alpay out, yeah, done him. And Heskey was right in the middle of it all as well, but Waz has done Alpay. And then all of a sudden, all you hear is, Alpay, Beckham, me, now. Colina. Remember him, the referee?
Yeah.
Yeah, cleaner, and he just fucking stopped the whole thing, mate, just with his voice, stopped it all. And the two captains went with Pierluigi Collina. And he just basically, the captains come to the dressing room and said, like, listen, next thing that happens on the pitch is a red card. And Bex had already missed a penalty that first half. And we drew 0-0.
Did he slip?
He sort of slips, yeah, put it over the bar. And we drew 0-0. But that meant we qualified for Euros. And I was buzzing, like, we qualified for another tournament, so I'm celebrating. So I got on the plane, and Wazza the prick, we had the little shot bottles that you have on planes, obviously when you're wearing a team, you can have as many as you want. And so we've got them lined up, and I'm necking, and we're doing shot for shot, me and Wazoo on a plane. And what was I then? 2004. I'd have been like 27, 28, and he's a kid, like he's 18. And I'm knocking him back. He's pretending to and just throwing him on the side. So I'm smashing lows down me. He's throwing him to the side. I end up getting absolute steaming, spewing all over the plane. Gary Neville walks me through the airport in Manchester, puts me in his taxi with him. He's like,
Are you in a wheelchair?
in a wheelchair.
Photographers don't know anything.
We had
See
to
you
go
coming
back
back.
exit.
You're there.
He literally put
calm
me in
down,
his like FA car, took me back to my apartment, he knew where I lived, put me in bed. Yeah. Wankered I was.
So apart from that one time,
2010 was another. No, 2010 I got steaming on the plane on the way for that as well. On the way back from the World Cup.
Did the players always have you back though? You're saying about Neville.
Yeah.
He's done well there for you, right?
Yeah, he's done brilliant for me then, yeah. He wouldn't have done it probably 10 years later when he split up with my sister, but at the time he was with my sister, so I was like,
what do you do on these England trips? Would play a game? Are you allowed a couple of drinks or?
the players,
Yeah.
yeah, they were good as gold. To be fair, they were the managers. So Sven had no problem with it night after the game or night of the game. Had no problem with it whatsoever. It was after Sven, Steve McLaren, no problem. It was not as short as it was. Even Roy Hodgson was good as gold. Like he let him have a drink. Capello, no. Capello was like
Didn't he take the ketchup and all that off him? And did he do that?
Butter.
Butter.
Remove butter. Like his first.
Was this a complete change when Capello came in?
It came in iron fist, bang, like complete iron fist. Like you all sat down at the table at the same time. You all left the table at the same time. You know, butter had gone. First pre-match meal was just one big fuck off bowl of pasta, nothing else. Although I know, so there's a loaf of bread with a toaster, but no sauce or no butter, no nothing. It was like dry toast or dry pasta. That was it.
Did he lose the lads because of that?
I think the press didn't help with everything. And he got to the 2010 World Cup and the lads really, really turned on everything and decided they're not going to do any press anymore, and training wasn't great and performances weren't great. And he went from iron fist, no butter, plain pasta, to the night before the Germany game that we lost, the one where Frank Lampard scores off the crossbar and doesn't get counted. He's offering beers and wines out the night before the game.
Try and get him back.
Try and get him back on
Hell,
board.
he has gone full circle there.
Full
hasn't he?
circle, which I sort of lost a little bit of respect for.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be happy if he'd stuck to his iron fist and it didn't work. But he completely went full circle. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing.
So we've had Wheats on, and Wheats is just a normal
I know
lad.
Wheats,
that
I
ended
know
up
Wheats.
going to play for England.
Yeah.
But around that time, was it Jimmy Bullard and Bentley? Just lads that you think, I'd love to have a drink with you.
Yeah,
You know,
they were so funny. They only came into one setup, I think. Bentley and Jimmy Bullard. I think that was enough for Capello. Like, but like I remember because on the team bus, then the staff would sit at the front, the players would sit at the back, and I just remember one day, I just heard this Postman Pat, and it was just coming from the back. It was just Jimmy Bullard shouting Capello, calling Postman Pat, like just fucking random shouts.
He would have had no idea who Postman
No,
Pat
I
is,
haven't got a
would he?
clue. Like, I'm giggling like fuck, brilliant.
on his first trip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mad.
didn't care.
It was Roy.
Brilliant, honestly, loved Roy Hodgson. Funny guy. He's like your granddad. He's like having your granddad running the team.
Yeah.
Brilliant. He would like ball under his arm, constant, and he would just walk around the pitch talking, and every now and again he'd just drop the ball and just have volley it to someone, and it would game on, and then put another ball under his arm. Good bloke. Fun. 2012 Euros, right? 2012 Euros. I'm working. Got to about 11 o'clock, half 11 at night, right in the middle of the tournament, and we're staying in Krakow. So there's games on every single night, as you know, when Euros and that are on. And people everywhere in Krakow. And it's
Good square, that as
it's
well.
good
isn't it?
square, yeah, it's good
Bars
square.
everywhere.
And we're just off the main square. We're just off the main square. And I've said to one of the other masseurs, I said, come on, mate. So let's go and have a fucking beer out of the hotel tonight. Because we could have a beer in the hotel any night. Let's go and have a beer. Let's just go down to a bar somewhere and just take in the atmosphere a little bit. It's middle of Euros. So it's now midnight, middle of the Euros, fucking 2012. England, I think we've played one or two group games already. And we're not having the greatest tournaments, but we're all right. So we sit down outside this bar, like we are now, beers on the table, chatting away. Next thing, walking down the middle of the street, 12 o'clock at night, R12. Fucking Roy Hodgson, England manager.
Oh, them electric scooters.
England manager. Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, England manager's there, like, and he's looked over.
Just on his own.
Right, boss, on his own, marching along with loads
With
of
a ball
people,
under his arm.
loads of people near him, like, but like no one's mithering him. He's just walking, like he's just taking it all in, like no security, no nothing. Right, boss. And he goes, "All right, boys, mind if I join you for a drink?" So he comes over, sits down with us, and he fucking has a beer like with us. It's like 12:30 at night, and he's doing the manager sat in a bar, like, outside a bar, just a few hundred yards up from the hotel, just sat having a chat with us. Fucking brilliant.
Thing is, it's 2012.
Yeah,
So
2012,
Roy
yeah.
Hodgson's probably 104 then. So he's probably just fucking lost. He just probably,
Forgot where his hotel is.
Anybody in room 107? 107, anyone at the...
But you know what? You know what? That night, what made me so impressed with him was, like, it didn't matter because he got recognised. Obviously, it didn't matter whether you were English, French, Swedish, Italian, Spanish. You walked up to him and spoke to him in your native tongue, he'd speak back to you in it. Mate, he had so many languages to him. He could speak everything. He was a joke, and he was dead pleasant. Took photos of everyone. Spoke to him in Swedish, in Spanish, or whatever. Brilliant.
A lot of them tournaments, they were unlucky, weren't they?
Yeah, they were
Penalties
unlucky.
off.
2004, 2006, we, without Rooney, like, what happens to Rooney in both them tournaments, I think we win both of them tournaments because he was that good back then.
Talking of shaggers, how was how was Dwight York when you first got there?
Right, Dwight. So he's off the back of a treble win, right? And I would say about Dwight, he's the one person I watched in the whole time I was at Man United that the level of success proper got to him. Like, he went from Villa to us to winning everything, and he just went, like, he would come in with yellow eyes like so many days. Like, he just loved the party.
Well, Maisie told us that after that season, he wanted a year off to go and
Celebrate.
celebrate.
Yeah.
That tells you it all, doesn't
Well,
it?
he didn't get the year off, but he had a year celebrating, that's for sure. Fucking hell. And a great lad. Honestly, a great lad, but fucking hell, he absolutely went off the rails after that, winning everything, yeah.
Could you see it physically as well? Like,
See it
just
physically,
suffering,
yeah.
like.
He wasn't as good on the pitch, and you could see it physically, just his eyes. The amount of days he came in with yellow eyes, like, it was ridiculous.
And would Fergie get onto him for that? Or?
Yeah, he knew. The gaffer knew everything. Sir Alex knew everything. He knew what was going on with every single player at all times. He was so on the ball. He had everyone in Manchester ringing him up saying, "Oh, your guys in my bar last night, your guys in my club last night, your guys in my restaurant last night." Did it with me. He knew I was out all the time. I'm his fucking master. He pulled me one day and went, "You're out too much. Get yourself a girlfriend, get yourself settled down." I was 27 at the time. I was married fucking 12 months later. Yeah, fucking shit myself. Got married, so that's when I met.
Don't love. He says I'm going to get married, so do you fancy it?
Out of all the players that have been there, I've got keep Rooney out of this. 'Cause I know he's your mate, but who's the one that's had to do the most ducking and diving on that front of getting herself into a bit of bother from going out? Or
Not an easy one to answer that one, is it? Jesus.
because I can't imagine Ronaldo being a drinker really, or
No, but he was up
I know
there.
he's a
though.
shagger, but-
He was up there. Like, yeah, he had a mess about. Like, he loved his women. Ronaldo loved his women. Like, see, I can't say that, can I? I'll give you a Ronaldo story. Right, it was good. Good in this
Can
one.
we all love women? It's just fucking. It's easier for some to pull than others.
I tell you, he half fell out of me over this a little bit, but we're all right now. But the last season he was at the club, we're night before the game, Lowry Hotel. So I'm staying in the hotel, and he's having a massage with me. So he's on my bed, and I'm rubbing his legs, and TV's on, X Factor's on. Who is this girl? And it was
Scherzinger.
no, close. Danny Minogue. Okay. Danny Minogue. Who is Danny Minogue? The sister of Kylie Minogue. Ah, okay. Can you get me her number? I'm like, okay, I'll mass her for Man United. I'm going to
Oh, wait a minute. I'll give Cal a ring. I'll just ring fucking Harold Bishop's book.
Actually, I am a man of many means. And within like 4 or 5 days, I've got Danny Minogue's number in my phone. So I hand it to him and said, yeah, there's a number. And apparently they went on a couple of dates, and whatever happened, and whatever. Nothing come of it in the end. About 4 or 5 months later, we're sort of like March, April, he's leaving to Real Madrid. We all know he's now going to Real Madrid at the end of the season. So he says to me, X Factor again on Saturday night. Who is this girl? And it was that Kimberly Wyatt from Pussycat Dolls, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, can you get me a number? I went, whoa, hang on. I said, what's in this for me? Like, I'm dogging away, like getting your fucking girls' numbers everywhere. I'm getting nothing out of this. He said, okay, you like my car? He had a Porsche Carrera convertible. I went, yeah, I do. He said, when I go to Real Madrid, I sell you half price. I said, okay, I'll get a fucking number then. It took me about fucking 10 minutes. I got her number, right? Passed it on to him. Sure enough, end of season, whatever happened, don't know. End of season comes and remember our deal? He went, yeah. Is he sticking to it? He went, yeah. 30 grand I give him for a 60 grand car. Next day I sold it for 60 grand.
Fuck you, Ronnie.
Literally had it one night, went to his house, picked it up, put the money in his bank, had it for one night, sold it for 60 grand the next day. Had a great holiday in the Maldives that summer.
Is it just me that's thinking he's a tight cunt? He could have just given me
Yeah.
We could have done, yeah. Someone else has said that when I told him that story as well. But
15 grand a number, innit?
Yeah.
yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I don't suppose you got Ellen Mirren's number in your phone, have you? I've always fancied her since fucking Prime Suspect.
Is she not 88 now?
It don't matter, she's still got it, bless her.
So were you good mates with Rooney before he arrived at United?
Only through England, because he came into England set up like either late 2002 or early 2003, and
You just got on.
we just got on straight away, yeah. Like sort of like Franny Jeffers was in the squad at that sort of time, so he was like mates with Franny because of a pair of Scousers, and like he got on the massage bed with me all the time, yeah.
So you must have been. Were he telling you, "Oh, I'm coming"?
Yeah. We was in the Euros in 2004, and I had like a couple of hours spare in the afternoon, and I wanted to go and have a little nap because I'm knackered because I'm massaging constantly. Not for Wayne, no. He wanted to get me up, go downstairs, and play PlayStation with him because I wasn't allowed to sleep in his eyes. Like, so so I've gone down, got a bit of PlayStation, and we're chatting away, and while we're playing, and he says to me, "What do I call your gaffer?" I went, "What do you mean?" He went, "Well, if your gaffer was to ring me, what would I call him?" I went, "Well, Sir Alex." I said, "I'd call him Gaffer, but he's my boss. He's not yours." And I've gone, "Hang on a second. What are you signing for us or what?" He went, "Well, what do you fucking think? Like, if I'm going to speak to your gaffer?" I went, "Fucking, yeah." So he gets his phone out. And I went, "Mate, call him Sir Alex." Like, and I stuck to it. "Just fucking make sure you call him Sir Alex." He went, No, I will. Picks his phone up. I like Alex, it's Wayne. I went, "Oh my God, mate. I just told you." And I'm sat there, "You fucking dick." Like, and he's like, and he had this conversation. I don't know what they said, like, but yeah, 2 months later, he's a United player, or a month later, he's a United player.
I can just think Wayne Rooney he's just a big kid.
A massive kid.
You know, like just always wants to be fucking about, never really grown up.
You know what?
Until later.
The last few years he has grown up. When he's become a manager, he's had to grow up a little bit, yeah. But yeah, he's been a big kid, and he was the heart of everything in the dressing room, in both dressing rooms, Man United in England for many, many years. Any jokes that were going on, it was so funny. He'd get so angry at times as well. There was one trip we went, I think it was, we went to, was it the South Africa? Australia trip. So we're on a jumbo jet, and I think we're on pre-season tour, go to Australia, and someone had nicked his suit bottoms. So when you got on the plane to go on tour, you get on in your suits because obviously you're sponsored by Paul Smith. You all got to look right for Paul Smith and the cameras. But as soon as you get on the plane, you take your stuff off, hang it up, put some jammers on. They give you some Nike stuff to put some on, and that's it for 12, 14, 15 hours, whatever, till you get to... So someone had nicked his pants. So he's got started getting himself dressed, shirts on, ties up. Where's my fucking pants? No one gave me his pants back, and the lads had hidden them, right? So we're all suited up and ready to get off the plane. He's fucking can't find his pants, and he's fuming. He storms down the front of the plane, right? You've got Bobby Charlton on there, you got Sir Alex on there. No one's getting off this fucking plane until I get my pants back, right? And he's like, at the front of the plane, no one's getting off. Like, he won't let anyone off the plane. Oh, it's so funny. Lads are crying, laughing, and his head had gone. But like, he was always the heart of everything. Like, whether he was taking a piss out of someone or being have the piss taken out of him, he was always the heart of everything.
If that happens to you, you're getting the full lot off, aren't you? And say, right, keep the pants. I'm going off naked.
Yeah.
The Mickey's out. I'm walking off this plane.
Show that to fucking Paul Smith. You think you're all funny bastards, don't you? Top at stairs like that. Might even get the old propeller. The other photo where he's got the vest on and the shorts and the flip
the lollipop.
Like he's just like that. Just
God,
for me, that is just exactly what I'd expect of him.
Yeah.
Typify him.
Yeah, his wedding was fun. I'll give him that. His wedding was fun. Imagine a plane load of scouts who's just flying over to Geneva and going out in Portofino. Like, just fucking nightmare, honestly. Beautiful 5-star hotel with a load of scousers in it. It was funny as hell. Nuts, like a proper nuts. But there's only like 40, 50 people at the wedding. And I mean, it was just a night. They were just a nightmare. You can imagine like Westlife singing for these scousers.
Westlife on?
Westlife sang for him, yeah.
That's a good.
Westlife sang for him.
Who's the best practical joker? England and United.
Practical joker. Oof. See, I was always up there in all that sort of stuff. I always used to get involved in that sort of stuff. But
What type of stuff would you do? Cutting stuff and all that?
yeah, more like
Shitting?
cutting clothes. No, we wouldn't go that far.
See, that's what I mean. At that
No,
level,
no,
like,
you can't.
you know,
I
shit-
think there was an incident with PK and pissing in a locker at one point, but no, I don't think there was any sort
Yeah,
of
shitting's too far.
Yeah, it's too
You
far.
know, can you imagine if someone's on table? Oh, it's nice and warm. Like, oh, what's that? Hot stones?
Yeah, no, I think we played. I think we played Everton away once, and I've got the room key for Dan Gibson, and we've absolutely upended his room. You know the one where you just throw sugar all in his bed and like so it's an horrible night's sleep. And I've shat in his. No, Johnny Evans it was shat in his toilet, but I had mad diarrhea, so like it was all over his toilet.
Johnny.
Just left it all there for him, and like
See, that's like we've heard quite a few stories like that, haven't we? But obviously, some does happen at the ice.
But it
level.
comes out. That's the problem. It comes out, and then I end up getting pulled in with like. And Sir Alex didn't pull me on this one, but Mickey Phelan pulled me in. He said, "Well, we know what you did to Gibbo's room the night before the game. You're fucking out of order. Where does it stop? You know, next thing you'll be burning each other's cars out." Like,
Was Sir Alex aware of your relationship with Rooney? And would you be kind of...
Go between.
I'm thinking of like, like Gazza and... What's
Jimmy Five Bellies.
Yeah,
it wasn't to that extent because I would say no. I would say no to Wayne. Like there was we were known in our circles as we'd argue like fucking husband and wife, like proper argue like.
Because you just go on field warming up with him, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I used to do that as well. For many years before the England games and before the United games, just doing like 40-yard, 50-yard knocks all the time. Yeah, but I knew when to say no to Wayne and when he was wrong and. That caused enough arguments over the years, yeah.
So would Sir Alex be aware of that? I don't want to get in trouble. Of that relationship and be aware that would you be kind of an intermediate and look after him?
Yes, yeah, he would do. I mean, I'll give you one. We played Bayern Munich at home. We'd already played the away leg, and Wayne did his ankle in the away leg. So Bayern Munich at home, we're in the team hotel, and so Alex has pulled us aside and said, "Listen, tonight you're going to go to the stadium with Wayne in a Viano in a Mercedes van, like separate from the team. So the team's going to go, but you're going to pull up after the team, way after the team. He's going to have a boot on, because he's going to the stadium in crutches, but he's starting the game. So he's going to try to put their team
Trojan
off.
horse.
Yeah, he's going to try and put their team off by looking as though Wayne's not starting." And that's what we did. Like, so I went with Wayne in a Viano to the game, and we got out, and he's fucking on crutches with a boot on and going into the stadium. So everyone sees him, pictures of him. So Bayern Munich are now thinking, "Oh, he's not going to start." Next thing, he's on the starting lineup.
When Sir Alex finally left, were you, after so long under him, were you a bit worried of whether you'd be able to carry on with your job when David Moyes come in?
No, that was never a threat because you had a contract with the club, and I knew I was good at what I did. I knew I was a good masseur. You build that up over time. I was probably terrible when I was 2001, like with Roy Keane and that lot. But as you work hard at it and you get a feeling for it. And plus I had the England thing as well. I'm still doing that, and I could.
Because some managers like to come in and bring all their own.
But
Especially-
it never really gets down to that level.
Yeah.
A manager might bring his own coaches, and he might bring a physio that he trusts or a doctor that he trusts, but it never really goes down to that level. Like we're like the lowest of the low, the masseurs. We do everyone else's job for them as well as our own. So yeah, I was never ever worried about that.
Big change when he come in?
Moisey?
Yeah.
Um,
You still pinging
Coach-
40 yarders
no,
on the
he stopped
pitch?
that. He stopped that. Yeah, he stopped that. I mean, I think those are the two things that completely ruined his time at United. Stopping me doing 40-yard pings with Wayne and the chips. Get rid of the chips.
You
But
got rid of chips?
He got rid of chips from the canteen,
Oh,
didn't he? Yeah.
I'm asking for a transfer.
Yeah.
Got rid of chips.
Can't get no chips right before the game. But listen, Moisey, the big change, obviously Sir Alex was huge leaving. David Gill was huge leaving. Like,
Was he just as big, do you think? Gill.
as equally big, yeah. I think so. For the stuff off the pitch rather than stuff on, yeah. Because obviously Sir Alex was everything on. But even like the contract talks and things like that, David Gill was quite ruthless and quite firm and solid. And from what I could gather, Ed Woodward wasn't, and was a bit lax. And lads could sort of play on that at first because he wasn't used to it. But David Moyes come in and he tried his style, he tried his things, and he was fine. David Moyes, he was quite indecisive as a bloke, and I got on with David. It just didn't work out for him. One of those things didn't work out for him. Couldn't. It was a big club, and I don't think he ever grasped how big the club was.
Do you think anybody who took over from Sir Alex were going to struggle?
I think everyone who took over from Sir Alex was struggling. Even if you'd brought in like this guy now, Ten Hag, he'd have struggled taking over from Sir Alex, yeah. And I think Sir Alex knew what he was leaving behind. No disrespect to that team that won the league in 2013, but they weren't a great team. They weren't. They won the league by 10 points in the end, but they were not a great team. But Sir Alex just got the best out of them.
Who was the closest one? The succession that took over. Who was the closest one where you thought he couldn't get it right here and just didn't?
When Jose first come in, I thought, yeah, Jose he's got the ability because he's got the personal skills to get it right. He knew how to make people laugh at the right time, and he knew how to be angry at the right time. And I thought, yeah, Jose's got this. He could do this, but just didn't work out for Jose either.
Has he got that personal? I think because he's on Instagram and stuff, and his personality's starting to come out. When back in the day, you used to think, fuck me,
Just
what a
an hard-faced
miserable,
bastard.
hard-faced
But
bastard.
then, yeah, like I always think when he was first at Chelsea, he seemed like the master man manager. Like everybody loved him, didn't they? And then at United, it seemed different. It seemed like he were
Everyone against.
to a point. After a certain period of time, it seemed like he were bitter.
Yeah, the best way I can explain Jose is like on his good days, he was amazing to work for, and he made me feel brilliant. He made me feel better than Sir Alex ever did. He made me right part of his little close circle, and I loved it. But on his bad days, God, he was a fucking nightmare. And he really was a nightmare. And he knew how to upset a player. He knew how to piss a player off. He knew how to piss staff off. Like it just depended on where he was at in his, like, not just that day, but that part of his contract. And towards the end, he really was he was hard work to work for. But at the start, he was the first 2 years really. Jose was brilliant. I loved working for him, and I thought it was fun. And he involved me in everything, and he would get me involved in training. Jose would get me started like in the crossing balls in for like when he should really, if someone goes down injured, should really go and get a kid from the reserves or the youth team. Jose go, no, Rod will do that. Like. I love that. Like,
So you're whipping balls in for the strikers for the cross and finishing session.
Cross and finish sessions, yeah.
Did he have a pet
On your
nickname
head,
for you,
Zlatan.
or-
So
Doddy.
obviously I played for until a certain time. Like, so I think I stopped playing like 2011-12, and yeah, the weight did come on, and it was a running joke that Wazza started it because of bell end, like, but Wazza every day would call me a fat cunt every single day, like, and I just had to accept. And I used to say, Wazza, yeah, but mate, wait till you stop playing football. You are going to be the fattest cunt that's ever played. Maradona's got nothing on you. You are going to be. So anyway, that's that fat cunt jokes that I stuck within the dressing room for many years. Like, and like the foreigners first started calling me Fatty, and I get Fatty, and okay, that's all right. I don't mind. Waterford looks back. Then Gordo, which is Spanish for fat cunt, basically. So the likes of like what was he called? The Argentinian centre half. Jesus Christ, Rocco were coming out, Gordo, and they're like, oh no, it's a lovable nickname. Oh yeah, I bet it is. Fat cunt, yeah. Cheers. But then Jose, when he come into the club and he learned all this and he knew what my relationship was with everyone, he saw how close I was with Wayne and that, I'd be sat in the medical room and it's on a corridor and you'd just hear down this corridor, fat cunt! And it'd be Jose come walking around the corner and he'd come up, give me a handshake and a cuddle. Like, fucking yeah, morning boss, you're right. Well, that was Jose for you. But like, at least I was part of his, that was the affection he had for me.
Endearing.
You know? Yeah, he was endearing, yeah. But brilliant fun.
I just can't imagine him walking down the down the corridors shouting that.
Oh, he's bantered Jose at times was brilliant. Like, he was one of them. He was a prankster. So like when you get on a plane going on pre-season tour and stuff, he'd be one of them putting like whipped cream in people's hands. So when they wake up and go like, they rub it on their face. And that was Jose, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that was Jose, yeah. He'd do that.
I love it, mate.
He needs to fucking grow up.
He used to love a prank, Jose. Yeah, he's brilliant.
But I remember the Pogba stuff. You know what? One time when Pogba's come at the training ground and he's confronted him about something in the box. Was he filming for Instagram or something after United got beat? Or during a game when they end up losing and he's confronted him? I don't know if you were there.
No, I see the sort of team meetings and that sort of stuff. We're never involved in all that sort of stuff.
Well, the camera's got it though. He's come out and you can see him go straight over to him. So
okay.
Would Pogba be one
on the training pitch it was.
On the training pitch,
and they started like walking away. I remember that, yeah. But no, I don't know what was said. I can't remember. But there wasn't much love lost between them two. Let's just say that, to be diplomatic.
What were he like, Pogba?
Good kid, honestly. A top talent, a fucking top talent, but just. It just didn't work out for him at Man United. More so because he didn't work hard enough. I think like he could have been centre mid for Man United for a long time, but I don't think he really wanted to know. He was a good lad, and yeah, it was a little bit about him, and not to the same levels of Ronaldo, but like wasn't far behind Ronaldo. Like when that it's all about me shit, but he was a good lad. And a very big talent, and I can't pinpoint what went wrong with him at United. I really can't. There's injuries and stuff, but I just don't think he wanted to be there from quickly after he re-signed.
How did you get on with Zlatan?
Funny guy, yeah, Zlatan. Like now, Zlatan is a bully. Like I can say that. I've got no fucking problems with that saying Zlatan is a fucking bully. But if you sort of like
in an endearing way,
yeah, in an endearing way. If you sort of like front him up and have the laugh and joke with him, he's great fun. He takes everything he gives out as well. But he upset many players. I mean, I think that's what Jose brought him in to do, to try and make players better by upsetting them. And he did that. And to be fair, we won the UEFA Cup with him. Yeah. So, Europa League, whatever we call it. So, yeah, I liked that. And I always got on with him. I liked him. And quite clearly, he's been a talented footballer over the years. And it was cold. You're cold now. You're freezing me.
Put your coat on. Put a coat there.
It's fucking paper thin. Like, it's a fucking time.
Drink, chaps. Drink.
Look, very smug.
Drinks on me
Really?
today. Oh, thanks to the sponsor, BetMate. We had our league at the weekend. I came second.
I
Nowhere
came
to be seen.
47th,
Once
maybe?
again.
Top 50. If I were a golfer, I'd be buzzing with that one. I make top 50.
Well, you can have another go this weekend because we've got the Premier League and FA Cup fixtures on Saturday.
And that does throw up some shocking result.
Yeah.
That FA Cup.
I can't see Sheffield United getting out at Man City, can you?
Nah. Where's it at? Etihad.
It don't really matter, does it?
No doubt I'll be taking some more victory points. So I'll be getting my teams in early. And you can get involved as well with a link in the description. And if you put in UTC5, you get a free fiver.
You get the freebie.
£5 in your wallet for now.
Get involved.
I'm have to reload. After a bad run, I'm have to reload.
Got to be 18.
You've got to be 18 and it's just low stakes as well. Maximum of £5. £2. Loads of little leagues going on. Get involved.
Always gambling responsibly, aren't we?
Please do gamble
I
responsibly.
gambled responsibly at the weekend. Came home with a big wedge in my pocket.
And a big burger.
Bet with a potato wedge. You fat twat. So do you know, like, obviously the roles that you've been in, have you ever met any proper famous folk?
Oh, fucking loads. Yeah, loads, yeah. I've
Come a long
Jesus.
way from that swimming bath.
I'm not wrong, yeah. This little scroll from Salford. I mean, I met the Queen in 2002. Prime Minister Tony Blair.
Freddie or...
I'd prefer that, like. No, yeah, we went to Buckingham Palace after the 2002 World Cup. We had an England team went there. And then we also went to 10 Downing Street. So I met the Prime Minister and the Queen in space of about a month. That was madness. Yeah, weird. But yeah, I've met many, many famous people over the years.
Who's the most famous?
Probably one of the most famous people on the planet, I'm not going to lie. He was at the time the President of the United States. And,
Trumpet.
Yeah.
Donald?
Not the trumpet, man.
Got the trumpet on.
And I ended up playing golf with him. Yeah.
A full round.
Yeah. Not a full round, no.
Right.
Not a full round. So I was, after my United job, I went out to buy a crack. I was living in Philadelphia and Wayne was playing at DC United at the time. So I went down to see Wayne on a weekend and we had a night out on the Saturday night, and then on the Sunday we've gone to play at the Trump National in Washington, and we get to the golf course and there's Secret Service everywhere. It's like, you know, I say the Secret Service, I didn't know at the time, but there's suits everywhere.
Yeah.
You can see the things in the mirrors, like, what's going on here? And it took me like 2 minutes, went, what's it? The president's playing here today. It's his course, he's definitely playing here today. Anyway, we get on the first tee, the caddy says, yeah, the president's playing here. We've been wanded about 3 times already, you know, wow. So we set off playing, having a few drinks. Next thing, we can just see this fucking entourage come onto the course, right? And it's just like 20 buggies on one hole. I'm like, what is going on with this guy? Anyway, the caddy who was taking us round is like his normal caddy. And they said, oh yeah, he has this every single time he's here. And he just plows through the course.
You've just got to come through and play for him.
Get out of his way, get out of his way. He said, it's just
we'll let you play through. What is it?
There's
Fucking
lit-
Donald Trump. Go on, Megan.
Fucking, don't be going in the rough though. If you're playing through, don't be going in the rough. Just get through us, right?
I can just see that if you find his ball in the rough, you've got to just sneak it onto the fairway.
give it a
you know
little knock.
what I mean? It's here, Mr. President.
So they're telling us like the snipers in the trees. There's a boat. There's a lake there. There's a boat going up and down the lake with snipers on the boat just in case. Like, and he said to us, he said, "Wait till you see the box." I went, "What's the box?" He went, "It's in between the 13th and the 14th hole. There's like an Escalade that's had the back cut out of it, and there's like a wrought iron box that's on it." And he said, if anything happens to the president while he's on the course, they just bundle him into this box. Helicopter swoops in, hooks onto the box, and just carries it off. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you're full of shit. I'm saying to the caddy, you're full of shit anyway. Sure enough.
Had a rugby tackle
Gets to the
in
13th, gets to the
seeing
13th hole.
action.
There it is, this fucking box on the back of this on this Escalade. Like, fucking unbelievable.
What's his swing like?
You know what, right? He was 72 at the time. So he's
Well,
74,
how
75 now.
how did you end up playing a couple
Right.
of holes?
Okay, so what happened is, right, so he's ploughing through the course. We get to about the 14th hole, and Secret Service come onto our hole. We're about to tee off. Excuse me, guys, you have to move aside because I'm afraid the president's coming through. Please don't talk to him. If he speaks to you, then you can obviously speak to him back, but just leave him alone. And I'm like, fucking Wayne Rooney, mate. He's going to speak to Wayne Rooney because Wayne had been actually coaching his son, Barron, on the White House lawn leading up to this. And Wayne had already been invited to like, you know, his house at Christmas and his house at Thanksgiving. White House, not his house, the White House, you know what I mean?
It's not a 2 up, 2 down in downtown Washington.
So like, I'm like, he's going to fucking speak to Wayne. Anyway, sure enough, comes round the corner onto the hole. We've teed off and our balls are down the thing, but we're still bad at tees. And he comes round the corner. Wayne, how are you, Wayne? Like, and he's fucking out, Wayne, it's Wayne. Like, and so he's talking, he comes over, chatting away. We meet him and like, so Wayne about 3 weeks before had scored his hat-trick for DC United in a game where they won 5-2, right? So now he's come onto that hole, right? and we've got like 20 buggies, including, remember Mayor Giuliani, the New York mayor from the 2001, the 9/11 disaster.
Yeah.
Mayor Giuliani was the mayor then, and he's like his lawyer or something. So he's on the hole with him as well, not playing golf. So like he's there, and there's like fucking just people, sort of photographers, and just following him everywhere. And he's like, "Oh, we'll play the golf." So this guy, and everyone's looking at him. This guy, last week he scored 5 goals for DC United, 5 goals. And I'm looking at Wazza going, "Go on, correct him." Fucking. Didn't you, Wayne? 5 goals, Wayne. And Wayne's like, yeah, I did, yeah. Well, you lying bastard, like, fucking telling the truth, you shit house. Anyway, so we then played like the next hole and the one after that, and then he carried on going, like, so he had his 4 ball and me and Wayne was a 2 ball, so we had like a 6 ball for a couple of holes, but just like surreal.
Did
like,
he introduce you?
So we chatted, like, he was great. Invited us to the White House whenever we wanted to come. Oh yeah, cheers, I'll go next week, mate. Yeah.
Stuck it on.
Like, fucking no.
Right, Donald in.
Unbelievable. Whenever you want to come to the White House, no problem, come on, mate, come and see me.
I fetched a bag. I fetched some cans, Donald. Chipped up on settee.
He was, you know what, and he was like perfectly polite, lovely guy, very chatty, brilliant, and we just played a bit of golf, had a chat, and he fucked off.
Were you good?
Played off 2. He was very good. He was very good, yeah. Straight down the middle of his drive, straight on the green, second shot both times, yeah. He's a good player. Surprising for 72-year-old, yeah. Big fucker, by the way. See his size, he was massive. Yeah, but it was like one of possibly the most surreal day of my life, that, yeah.
Can imagine. Especially if you had a few drinks as well.
Oh, we were steaming the parents. Yeah. We were steaming. Fucking hell, we were steaming.
Okay, when once he's fucked off on this buggy, I bet you just looked at each other and gone, what the fuck just happened?
He was one of
What has
them.
just happened?
He was one of them. Like, I've got a photo of me, Wayne, and him on the picture, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, when I pull it out, people just go, what? Like, it's fucking unbelievable.
Jeez, man.
You got his red cap on?
Yeah, there's that
Of
one,
course
yeah.
he has.
Trump.
Keep, what was it? Keep.
Make America great again.
Make America great, yeah, that's it. That's what he had on, yeah. He did have it on.
As if he plays golf in that.
I'll tell you this. We came off the course, right? We came off the course, and it was a Sunday that day. But even though it was a Sunday, he was supposed to have had this, like, it was all publicised, this massive meeting that afternoon with the Taliban.
He missed it.
Fuck it, I'm gonna do 18.
Me and Wayne are sat at a bar here, right? He's sat on that table there with Ivanka and Ivana, and the whole fucking shebang are all there just having a meal. And he fucked him off with the Taliban and just
You're like, one of them around.
done.
Fucking arms
Done,
are
you want
fucking
another one?
7, but fucking go on there. Go around it.
Tell you what, I'm not bothered about that meeting. I fancy a club sandwich. Chips.
Tell you what, sandwich for me now. Yeah, it's
Supposed
brilliant.
to be having a meeting
Like
with
the
the
most
Taliban.
surreal day of my life. Like, it's unbelievable.
Fuck me, and he's gone golf. You know what I mean? It's like a world issue, and he's fuck it. I'm doing 18.
Yeah, in 2 hours. Fucking hell.
I mean, looking at some of the players in not just the United squad, but the England squad as well, who you've had your fingers on. I mean, there must be some. There's a lot of characters in
There really
there.
is.
We just
There
chuck
really
some
is.
names at you.
I'll see what I can come up with, yeah.
Crouchy.
Crouchy.
He's one.
Crouchy was
Oh, did you get overtime for Crouch?
so entertaining.
Like massaging a twiglet.
You need 2 beds, don't you? You have to run up his legs. You have to run up him. Crouch is honestly a diamond of a guy. Like, he was a fucking great lad, Crouchy. When the robot come out, I remember the robot come out, and everyone loved the robot. But then I think we was in the 2006 World Cup. We were at the night before one of the games, so we're in like a local venue, so like Stuttgart or wherever it was, and right outside our hotel, there was like all the bars in the strip. And our massage room was a big corner suite, so all the windows were overlooking this strip, and there were fucking thousands of England fans, thousands of them on this strip, and they got wind that England were staying in this hotel, and they started surrounding the hotel. Literally, there must have been 5,000-10,000 outside the hotel, and they were just singing every player's name, and every player was going up to the windows and giving them a wave, blah, blah, blah. Crouchy goes up to the window and does the old fucking roll out the window. Fucking brilliant. But that World Cup, right, Crouchy, not many people know this, but I'd finished work and we'd work till at least midnight, you know, late nights, massaging the lads. And I'm a decent tennis player, and Crouchy was as well. And on site in Baden-Baden, where we were staying, was like a tennis centre. So not many people know this. Crouchy would ring me at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I go, fancy a game of tennis? Go on then, yeah, let's go and have a game. When we go to the tennis centre and we just fucking play tennis till like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. He was the starting England centre forward at the time.
No wonder it was shit.
Fucking playing tennis with me till fucking 2.
Looking a bit tired today, Crouchy. Just because he lost in 5 sets at fucking middle of the night.
Yeah,
Tie record in 5th set.
But he played for like the Southwest Counties or something, like some county team, and I was all right at tennis, and we just used to have a right good smash up. It was brilliant, yeah.
I can imagine he's got a great reach, hasn't he?
Fucking not long, Jesus. It's like a surf.
Carragher? Jimmy
Carragher. There was always a needle with Carragher because the United fucking United
It'd be that much, like, even
Liverpool thing. Yeah, even
as
me and
the
him,
Man
like,
United
yeah.
sort
I
of-
mean, I get on with him because I see him at Soccer Aid now still, and I always get on with Carragher. But I remember we were at it might have been 2004 tournament. We were away, staying in Sardinia. I can't remember what it's called, but there was a go-kart place on site. And every night, the England team had it booked out. So anyone who was part of the England setup could go on the go-karts. And I remember this one night, there were loads of lads there. I'm on there. Carragher's just turned around and gone, "You're fucking getting it." Like, we're on the go-karts. So I'm going around the track. He's just going straight across the grass verges, straight just to plough into me, just to fuck me up. Like, and I'm coming around the corner going straight. He's coming straight at me the other way, like, just wanted to fucking mull
Why?
me.
What you done?
Just because I was a mank and he was a scouser, like, yeah, simple as that.
Did you ever...
It's all coming to light now, really, isn't it? I know we never won one of these tournaments. They've only gone for a game of tennis and a fucking game of Mario.
That was just his banter. Like, we always got on, like, but like he just wanted to just muller me off the track. Like.
Did you see them working together as they have?
And I could never envisage Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher as they are now, because Gary Neville epitomised Man United and what they loved and hated, and Jamie Carragher epitomised Liverpool and what they loved and hated. Because, like, more so than Steven Gerrard did. And I could just never see what they're doing. And they do a brilliant job of it. I'm not going to lie. They're fucking
Class,
brilliant
aren't
together. They're a class act. They are a class act. And I'm with them both again this year at Soccer Aid. And I look forward to it because they're funny together. They're funny together.
I've heard a few stories from the Christmas dues. I know Steely said about Roy Carroll and Dev.
Oh,
from
Coronation Street.
Was Roy Carroll one of them? I don't know if he's was fighting the drink or whatever, but do you have to keep an eye on him? You know,
He did do back then, yeah. Roy now is sorting his life out and he's fucking great bloke. And he always was a great bloke, but yeah, on a drink, Roy could be a fucking nightmare, yeah.
Did you go on the Christmas dues then?
Hell yeah. Yeah. I fucking organised it.
Officially or unofficially?
I think they knew. Like, I think they always invited staff, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of staff shit at themselves. Oh no, I can't go on that, But I didn't give a fuck. I would go, yeah.
Who would you want to be around? You know, probably England lads as well. If you want a night out,
Best company.
best company.
Wow. I mean, let's take Wayne out of it, obviously. Ashley Cole was always great company. I always enjoyed being around Ashley Cole.
That surprised us a bit.
I know.
know why.
Just a lovely guy, fun, knew how to party, and a good guy. You know, I remember one international meetup. We'd meet up on a Sunday, and we'd normally play Saturday, Wednesday back then. And this Sunday, I've met up with the rest of the medical staff. The team have all started filtering in. 7 o'clock's come, where everyone's supposed to be there by. No Ashley Cole. Dinner's at 8. So where's Ashley Cole? No one can get hold of him. So I'm ringing Ash and like, where the fuck are you? And I knew, because I've got contacts in Manchester, that he was at like a sort of like a brunchy sort of place, steaming. So I've had to go in. I spoke to the people at the FA that weren't the manager, and it was like, listen, I'll get Ash back here. You all say he's here, and like he's in bed. And I had to go to. It was called, was it Circle? I can't remember what it was called at the time. It was the Archies in Manchester. And I've walked in there and he's literally fucking just him sat there with about fucking 10 birds around him. He's not doing anything with him. He's just talking, like a couple of mates. And I went, Ash, come on. You got international duty. You can't just fucking say, fuck off, I'm not coming. I'm like, Ash, nah, I can't not leave without you today. I said, I'm going to look after you and make sure that you're not going to get in trouble, but fuck off, come on, Brad. Like, and to be fair to Ash, he had enough respect for me to actually get up and leave the place, and he got in my car and I took him backdoored him to his room, and when anyone asked, where's Ashley Cole? Like, oh, he's in bed, he's fine, he's asleep, like, he's just gone to bed early.
What's his thought process with that?
Unbelievable. That's
Who's the manager at this one?
Sven Eriksson.
Sven,
Do what you want, yeah.
Sven, Gaffer, he got 5 birds around him. No problem, Ash.
Bring me 2.
See you Thursday, Ash. You have a good fucking time.
Yeah.
And I'll come for knockdowns.
So we did another one of Ash's. We had a kit man who used to film everything that was going on inside the setup, and he'd make a video of it, and at the end of every tournament he would edit it, make it up and send it out to everyone is in the squad, including staff. And there was a funny one where it was the day of the Portugal game with in the Euro 2004. So we're playing Portugal that night, and he's interviewed Ashley Cole on his balcony the day of the game, and he's got a cigarette in one hand and a beer in the other. The day of the game, obviously he's not drinking it, he's not smoking it, but he just looks really bad. And he's just, so Ash, like, how's the training been? How's everything? All right? You prepared for tonight? He's gone, oh no, yeah, we're prepared tonight. We had 6 birds in the hotel last night. We all rattled through them. It's been a fucking great fun. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, that's Ash for you. Like, he's just a good lad. Like, went along with it.
Who's the most laid back? Like, you've got an appointment. You know he's not turning up on time. If he's going to turn up at all.
Rashford was like that. Jesus Christ. Rashford was a nightmare for being on time for anything. There were so many laid back. Like, Michael Carrick was so laid back, but when he fucking spoke up, the whole dressing room went quiet and everyone listened because he just commanded that respect.
Is that why you think he's doing so well as a manager?
I think so, yeah. I really do think so. And he's clued up, he's intelligent. He's clued up, he's intelligent, and when he needs to speak, he'll fucking speak and you'll listen. But he's not aggressive, he's not nasty. A good bloke, but yeah, he's got a snap in him.
What about Berbatov? He's got to be up there.
Oh, fucking Berber, Jesus Christ. Well, where do I start with Berber? Berber, right? So he come to Man United, and he methodically went through all of the medical staff because he wants one person to look after him, and that's it. So he goes through all the medical staff.
Not the same way that you went through the
And like, once he'd gone through everyone, he picked who he wanted to be his bitch, basically, and it turned out to be me. So in a way, it's like a good thing because, like, yeah, all right, I'm good at what I do. But he was a fucking nightmare. He would get on the bed with me, and he would like have an hour to an hour and a half massage, really, really deep, right? He wouldn't say a fucking word. He'd get his iPad out and he'd sit on there, watch something, earphones in, not say anything, and like he'd just get up at the end of it, walk off, never say thank you. Like, and it was a pain in the ass, really.
They
And
look after you. You know, we haven't spoke about that, but did you get...
well done. No, fuck all. Fuck all. Honestly. And you know what? He'd get off the bed and I'd say to him, any chance you ever saying fucking thank you? And he'd go, I'll say thank you when I leave. When he left, he never said thank you.
You might not want to tell us, but what's the kindest gesture you've had from... Because lads are generous.
I'll tell the kindest gesture. No problem at all. When Johnny Evans left Man United, right, he went to... however he went, he texted me out of the blue. He said, you got something coming your way. And it's just a little thank you because you always looked after me. I always appreciated you and you've been brilliant for my career. And I got through the post $3,000 worth of Glen Eagles vouchers to go to Glen Eagles. So I took me and 3 mates and we stayed in the hotel and we had 2 days of golfing up there. That's the best gesture I ever had in it as a thank you for what you've done. Like, listen, Waz has looked after me over the years of various different things, and Waz will always be my best mate, and he has looked after me. But as someone who has gone, you know what, we weren't actually that close. It was all right, like we weren't actually that close, but you were brilliant for me. Johnny Evans, fucking brilliant.
See, I think that's the very minimum from me. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, Johnny didn't have to do that, did he?
No.
I know what you're saying. but he didn't have to go out. He has gone out
Well, I'll
of his
tell
way.
you what
He's booked
happened.
it
You know when
and-
the Glazers took over, right? Before the Glazers took over, at the end of every season, if you were part of the travelling staff for United, you would get a cheque for X amount of thousand, right? From the MUTV pool. And if you were in and around the dressing room, and you would get another cheque for a little bit less, and people in the office would get less. But once the Glazers took over, they took that money from the MUTV pool and we said, "Wow, this is Man United's money. We're having this." So Gary Neville then turned around and went, "Well, if this was all sanctioned by Gary Neville and the captains or whatever at the time," and they just said, "Well, if they're taking that money, we're not going to give you anything." So from that minute onwards, the lads never put their hands in the pocket to look after the staff. Never. Like you know, we all worked in with football clubs, and I was captain of 3 clubs I played for. Every single Christmas, every single end of season, I would take money out of lads' wages, and I would look after minimal amount of staff, like the kit man, the physio, the coaches. You'd always do it. Nah, not United. They do it everywhere else, but no, it just didn't happen. It just stopped there and then, and it was like that was the culture. Then you never got anything from him, and you shouldn't expect it. I know that, but I know what my background was and where I used to do for the people I used to work with when I was playing, and I know what other clubs did, and it was just like, tight bastards, like, why?
So how come you stopped at England first?
United turned around to me and they said it was a conflict of interest. After 15 years, all of a sudden it was a conflict of interest, and they said you got to choose one or the other.
Who was manager?
Van Gaal. So Louis sat me down in his room and said, "Listen, no, I had to stop working for Holland in the World Cup to come and work for Man United, so you've got to do the same." So that was tough. That was tough, yeah. You lost half your salary. And at the same time, I was going through my divorce. So I'm now on a quarter of my salary, and it was fucking hard work that year. That wasn't nice.
So would you get paid the same at United as you do at
You
England?
had a contract at United, whereas with England, you were called up like the players were called up. So there was nothing, tying you to him, yeah. So a new manager could come in and go, which is what happened a couple of times, but I survived the culling. Like James Milne used to call me the Teflon man, because I used to survive getting culled, because when you get rid of masseurs or kitmen or whatever, I used to stay through it all. Like,
Was it a tough decision then?
massively tough.
Could
Massively
you
tough
have
decision.
carried on with England and left United?
I
Is
could
that
have done,
something that you could have
but
done?
it would have been a huge gamble.
Yeah.
And Man United's money was, for me, obviously on a yearly basis was more than England's,
Yeah.
but England's would make up for it with bonuses. But then,
Could you have found another club as well? Maybe. I mean, obviously you live in Manchester. Don't you?
yeah, I mean, you'd have
Man U
thought so,
fan.
but I mean, my situation the last 4 years, I've not found another club in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm not working for Man United for 4 years, and I've not found another club yet. No one's reached out to me and come said, like, why don't you come and work for us? But like, whether I'd want to work in football again, I actually don't really know, because the politics and the shit that goes on behind the scenes, you don't actually see it as much as players, but staff, and a lot of the staff who ever see this will know what I'm talking about. There is a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes, and you don't get the money that the players do. So a lot of it's not worth it.
Time as well about it.
Well, that's the thing. You're away from your family as much as the players are away from their family, if not more, and you're not compensated for it. You're not, compared to what they're at. You know what I mean? And yeah, you're right. They should get all the fucking money, because they're the ones on the pitch and the ones that are producing for the masses and producing for the fans. But you're the ones behind the scenes, fucking working your nuts off, doing at times 80-hour weeks, and there are some clubs that do compensate it, but there are also some that don't.
Just tells you even more how much of a shit show it was that decision was made for you not to look after. You know, when you said they took that MUTV money, piss poor, innit?
Yeah,
Because you're the ones in charge of getting them.
exactly.
Peak.
An important part of the Saturday at 3 o'clock or whatever
Yeah.
time they play, you're getting them prepared to be as good as they can possibly be.
Yeah. I always believe that the team around the team was massively important, and that's with England. They were really, really good. And United, yeah, it was a decent setup, but it probably could have been better.
Are you still a United fan?
Massively, yeah. I'll always be a United fan. I got the games now. I went to the cup final 3-4 weeks ago. Loved it. My kids love it. Big United fans. I'm still close with Darren Fletcher, and he looks after me all the time. Whenever I need anything, he'll look after me. So yeah, I love United.
Fellaini.
What a guy! What a
I
fucking
just
guy!
said his name now, Fellaini. I just thought, surely you've got something on Fellaini.
Honestly, one of the most genuinely loveliest guys I've ever come across in football. He's out in China now. We still speak, and he's a fucking diamond of a geezer. I mean, he scored important goals at important times. We won the FA Cup because of Marouane Fellaini, which is ridiculous. But yeah, he came at a time where, and he did a good job for us. He was honest, and you could give him a job to do, and he would do exactly what you would ask of him. And he was always polite. He was always a lovely guy. And I haven't got any stories about Fellaini off the pitch, other than the fact that he did what he wanted to do and got away with it most of the time, really. Yeah.
I like him.
No, top jaw. Honestly, top jaw, Marouane Fellaini.
How is Van Persie?
So, like, we used to talk about Van Persie. Like, when he come that season, when we won the league with him scoring the goals and he got the goal off Rooney, blah, blah. Me and Wayne used to sit there at the start of the season going, his fucking runs are shit. Like, his runs are wrong. Like, they're so... But they ended up that wrong. They were good.
This is shit.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no doubt he could finish. But, like, we'd look at him and go, why is he making that fucking run? It's like the wrong way to go. And then it turned into a fucking great run and he'd score. And like, oh, okay, fair enough.
He might actually half know what he's doing this game.
Yeah, but no, he was a good guy, Robin. He was a good guy. I got on with him. He wasn't my favourite player. He wasn't my worst player, but he was a nice guy. And to be fair, without him, that one year we wouldn't have won that league. So.
You know, you talk about like Berbatov didn't used to talk. Were there any players that come in that you were hoping weren't going to talk?
Gary Neville. Gary fucking Neville.
And Phil. I'm throwing Phil in.
You can't have Phil because Phil was ace. Like, Phil was like such a lovable character. He just got bullied to fuck by everyone else around him. Like, but Gary, Jesus Christ. It got to a point, I think, with Gary where, like, when he spoke, like, everyone just switched off, like, couldn't be bothered with him, you know. That's the way Gary was.
He owns it as well, though, doesn't he? He
He loves it. Honestly, he's a great character. He's fucking fantastic to be around, like, and he's a funny lad. I mean, obviously, he was family for me for a long time. Like, he was with my sister for 8 years, so like he'd be at my dinner table on a Sunday afternoon at home. Weirdly enough, when him and my sister split up, he broke his foot at the time, and obviously I'm working at Carrington, so I actually moved in and lived with him for a while, and was driving him to and from training every day, and I was just staying with him. Well, no, not really. Sort of.
That is going above and beyond, isn't it?
Yeah.
Living with Gary. You know what I mean? You won't fucking compensate him for that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
We're gonna need to take one for the team.
I'll tell you what. I will live with Gary, but I want us fucking wages swapping.
I'm telling you now, it had his fucking benefits. I tell you now, because he lived at one side of the house, and I was fucking about a mile and a half away at the other side of the house. And yeah, no, he was good to live with. He was funny actually. He was a good lad. He still is a good lad. He makes me giggle every time I see him.
If you go on the drink for three lads from United, apart from Rooney,
Yeah, okay, let's get Rooney out of it.
and all day in here.
Yeah.
Wes Brown. Wes Brown's always going to be in there. To be fair, Wes Brown sat there about fucking 2 weeks ago with me because he's always going to be on the. He's one of the best. He was the best man at a wedding with Wes Brown. Not Wes Brown, one of the ushers. Sorry. So Wes Brown's always going to be in there. Let me think back. Juan Sebastian Veron will be in there because he was a fucking lunatic. Yeah, brilliant fun. Loved to drink. Good guy out.
Did you have massage his head? Because he had a cranium, didn't he?
He's using
a
the
proper
cranium.
bulbous.
Yeah, he had a big head, yeah.
Bulbous.
He was a talent, by the way. He was a fucking player, by the way, yeah. I'm trying to think who else. Like, I mean, Butty on a night out's brilliant. Giggsy's there's so many on a night out that are so good. Like, it's
Giggs would be my top three. I've never even fucking met the bloke. Because he's going to knock you some down, isn't he?
Not gonna lie, Giggsy was sat there 2 weeks ago. St. Paddy's night. Butty and Giggsy sat there 2 weeks ago. They come in here with the regulars in here, and they're fucking great fun and great entertainment. Yeah, they're fun. They're good on a night out. Giggsy's so dry, so funny. Love him.
Is he your third?
Yeah, I'll throw Giggsy in there. Yeah.
England.
Do Do you want me to leave Ashley Cole out of that one and
Yeah.
do 3 others? Yeah. So JT was I got on very, very, very well with JT. And we were good friends for a long time. Michael Owen's funny on a night out.
Give over.
He has
Fuck
this
off.
deception. He has this
You
deception
know
of
what?
being
I
a
don't believe
boring
anything
bastard.
you just said.
Honestly, he's got this boring bastard deception. Honestly, on a night out, he is fucking great entertainment. Honestly, a brilliant, brilliant guy. Brilliant guy. Third man. Oh God, I'm trying to think of the England lads over the years. I could throw Crouch in because he's obvious one that's fun. I'll throw Crouch in there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Strong 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, very strong.
Very strong 6.
So what are you doing with yourself now, mate? What?
So I drink in here every about 17 hours a day.
Every day.
No, I've got a clinic at a gym round the corner. I say round the corner, it's like 10 minutes away from here in Moberley, called Claire's Space, or Space it's called now. Sorry, it's changed its name recently. It's just been voted National Gym of the Year in one of the awards, and it's like top exclusive, you know, like so Ronaldo, Rashford, they're all members there, and I work out of there. That's my day-to-day stuff. But I'm looking at I'm hopefully gonna start doing like Q&As and after dinner speaking and things like that, just to keep myself ticking over. I'm just looking at the things. I'm always open to jobs and things that may come my way, but at the moment, just keep myself ticking over with what I've got going on. Yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, top man.
no, I've
Thank you
loved it.
very much.
Enjoyed
No, I've loved it.
Yeah. Really
Brilliant.
enjoyed that.
Top
Brilliant, mate. Best of luck with everything.
Cheers.
Juan Sebastian.
Surprising,
Oh,
man, isn't it?
cranium! Fucking love that word out of over, haven't you? Fucking hell.
So just to confirm, that's what? Callum from the Elka Vale?
You're going to be disappointed in us. Eamon.
Oh,
Your great memory.
yeah.
Callum, Eamon.
Eamon from the Alcavale.
Yeah.
Just say
Thank you very
Eamon
much.
now,
Eamon.
and on the audio, we'll just put Eamon over the top. Just
To be
do it
fair,
for us.
it's still the same pub, innit?
Apparently, he watched the episode with, this is Roderick, watched it with Mark Wright from Towie.
Oh,
Thought it was
that's
an unbelievable.
19 Italian 90.
Yeah.
Cut.
Thought it was an unbelievable episode.
Well, if Matt Wright thinks it's good.
Get him on. And Michelle.
I
It's
like
Michelle.
It. I like his missus.